like, no, I want it printed for me by a city council, by a county government worker. So we must decentralize our city. Nairobi is a growing city at more than 5% annually. The demands are big. It is growing because it has become the epicenter of this region. It is 696 square kilometers. We cannot have what we call urban sprawl. And urban sprawl or urban decay is where you have people traversing such long distances to get services. And so you have somebody living at the edge of the city, let's say in Kamulu or in Ruai, whose child is going to Makini School in Kilimani, and the person works in Westlands. That's why you have a lot of these issues of congestion, of traffic, etc. And so what you want to create is, in terms of urban planning, is sub-centers that actually all services are there. The sub-centers that were created under the new plan that we're implementing are in all the parts of the city. The local area plans are taking a time, because you remember we had gotten funding from Millennium Challenge Corporation to do all the local area plans for these sub-centers in the city. When the Donald Trump administration came in, that money was cut off. That was a congressional fund called Millennium Challenge Corporation, where we were getting around, finally it was going to be $800 million, to develop all of those plans that deal with the water, with the development control. Because remember, Chair, the last physical development plan for the city, the actual full plan was 1978. 2004 was just development control regulations. It was obsolete. And so what new plan did was to set up the foundation to do all those plans. Now the courts have ruled that we have a year to finalize, because the Raptor residents and the Parklands residents had gone to court because they didn't want, the buildings coming up. A lot of the issue is nostalgia, that we used to live in half an acre in Kileleshwa, now a flat is coming up. It is inevitable. The flats will come up. We must go up, but we must go up with amenities, and they won't come up everywhere. And that is why you have a whole physical development plan. That this area, for instance, this area of Lavington will remain with mansionettes. This area of Mudaiga or Karen, you will not allow flats there. This area you can have 0 ground plus 3 or plus 4 floors, which also means that you must add X amount of sewer and X amount of water, and we have those plans. We're doing some with the French Development Agency, we're doing some ourselves, whether it is the Lavington area. If you look now, the water coming from Kabete up to Oleodume, through Kawangware, over there there's a dispersal that will go into Lavington. It comes all the way to Kungu Karumba Road, going up to Langata. Today, if you go to Langata, the areas that have never had water, that have water, including estates named after senators here, Onyonka Estate, named after your dad. Karen had no water completely from the city, completely. It was just boreholes, and that is why the water table has gone down. Now there is water in Karen. The water that's coming from Karen, we have done micro-tunneling at Galeria that goes across to Brookhouse towards the road, Magadi Road, and also now coming into Langata, Royal Park, all those estates to Langata Prison through gravity. Because initially the line to Langata was going through Kibra. And unfortunately, there were a lot of interference. Yeah, we've had to concretize that pipeline, but and still give them now proper connections. But even where it's been concretized, there has been encroachment. And so we did one line now along the new Langata link road called Kunkarumba, but the gravity one is helping. And that's the story in many places. Go to Utawala, go to Mihango. Now we're doing, and I'm very happy with my new MD, Martin Angole, because I sent him to sit with Earthy Waterworks to help us with the lateral connections. If you go to Umoja today to Molem, there is serious sewer works going on, So the amenities might not be visible in terms of the pace, but we must bear that in mind. And just because we've allowed certain heights doesn't mean that we will approve for you to do that height when we see that these amenities are not yet enough. On the river program, there is one intervention that is going to help us, because I insisted you cannot clean the river without dealing with the sewer. And the river cuts across the city, 27 kilometers. And so we have done 54 kilometers of sewer on both sides of Nairobi River, 54 kilometers of of that sewer will also be on Ngong River and Mathare River, and that completely cuts across the city. 1.8 meters by 2 meters in terms of the size. That will take us for another 50 years. So all that's left for us to do is the last mile connections into those chunks. So that will be sorted, because the more water you produce, you need to provide for at least 75% of the same quantity for sewer provision. We are now doing another wastewater treatment plant in Kariobangi North. The wastewater treatment plant will go from 30,000 cubic meters per day to 90,000. Yeah. So these plants are there to support a growing city, because the city will be growing. Of course, it is not at the pace that we would all wish. I wish there was an instant button out press and all the sewers done, the roads are done, but there has been progress. Possibly we need to communicate better about the progress being made in each and every of these sectors and what we're doing. That is a challenge that I admit that we do have, but there's been tremendous progress that we will find a way to explain. When I come to Senator Sifuna's question, so Chair, there are huge plans, and I will keep sharing with you, and with Nairobians, because Nairobians want to know that at least there is a plan that you're working towards, and this is how we can chip in where it comes to chipping in. On the issue of the banks, Chair, it's an administrative decision, really. You know, the law allows us to open bank accounts. We have accounts with many different banks as a county, not just cooperative or KCB or equity. We have, different arrangements. The major issue that we had was on management, the cycle management of month-to-month expenses. And so, for instance, we get, because exchequer delays sometimes. When exchequer delays, you want the bank to pay for you in advance, at least salaries, so that they don't delay. And we've had huge issues with salary delays. The commission that we were being charged by Coop Bank, or by the banks we had, because now I don't want to go into brands, because it will almost be a defamation or whatnot. But we have a better commission of 0.5% after 60 days. We were paying a higher percentage after 30 days. It's an administrative decision we've made. It is within the law. We've not gone to an illegal institution. It is a bank that is, regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. We believe the money is safe. They have been willing to even advance 2 months salary. You remember last time we were here, you said the CHPs are saying when the delay from the national government money is done, we should advance them. The current arrangements we had, they were refusing to advance us beyond that, and says that if you advance us beyond that, it becomes a loan, that we need to come back to National Assembly and get a national government guarantee. We disagreed with that on principle, So deposits for hospitals, I'm just seeing what the CC has written, do not sit in a bank. They go in and out, to be withdrawn and used as FIF. We have no processing fee for salaries at CDN. That's what they have given us as a deal. So it's a better deal for the county. It is a better deal on all of those accounts, and it's an administrative decision, it's a legal decision that we stick by. In fact, not just hospitals. We are moving everything there. Not just the ones you saw, including revenue. Yeah, the revenue accounts will also move there. The collection accounts are going to move there. It is a Kenyan bank. It was Kereb. And so we must be proud. The ones you're saying at level at tier 1, at one point we're also at a lower level. Let's build our bank. So it's an administrative decision that we can stand by.
Through you, Chair, could I please ask a subsequent question to the Governor? Your Excellency, the reason why this question is relevant is because you've actually not answered it. What Sifuna said, we have about 34 commercial banks in Kenya. If